Welcome to Second Edition. Today we hear about the high demand for bikes here in Edmonton.
That's right, and later we will learn about a tiny house built right here in Edmonton.
And make sure you stick around for some of the best bike trails our city has to offer. We begin today's show with a powerful march that took place this weekend, as Edmontonians took to the streets to show solidarity against racism and hate speech.
Thank you so much, everybody, for coming.
People walked through snow to show support to those targeted by hate. Hosted by Bridges Against Hate, the event was organized because of the recent attacks happening in the States and the attacks against Asian and Muslim people in our city to show people are tired of the hate.
I think this says a lot of people have had enough. And I think this says that people are tired of people being mean to other people, hateful and being racist and discriminatory. I think this means that people really want a different conversation.
Bridges Against Hate hosted the same event in both Calgary and Winnipeg this past weekend. Starting in Phase 2B, diabetics will be able to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. After months of pushing from organizations like Diabetes Canada and the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, the provincial government has moved diabetics up on the list to receive their vaccines much sooner than originally intended.
As far as where we've been set, I feel extremely lucky, and I'm very grateful for it, because it just gets us that much closer to herd immunity, for one, and immunity for all.
With the new phase of immunization starting up, it is expected that many diabetics will rush to have their shots done as fast as possible.
Bicycles are in high demand across Edmonton. Local bike store United Cycle is trying to keep up with the demand. I also had the chance to talk to the manager about the demand. This high demand for bikes is causing shortages at the store. Store manager Kelly says that keeping up with the demand is hard.
It's always a challenge to have enough bikes for the demand and while there's a lack of supply.
Bike bells are also popular in this demand. Fort Edmonton Park seems a little brighter these days thanks to the Light Midway charity event.
And keep your eyes out for new gardens popping up around the city. Lucas Johnson has the details for us.
That's right. It may not look like much right now, but when the season comes, fresh produce will be blooming thanks to local Edmontonians. The city is encouraging citizens who have a love for gardening to apply to lead a team of members who maintain a fresh pop-up garden in their immediate community for people in need.
We have refined our eligibility criteria this year to support those individuals and groups who have been most impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. This can include a variety of individuals, and all of the details of eligibility criteria are available on the website.
For groups or individuals seeking membership at an existing site, visit their website to apply and view a community gardens map to find a garden near you. A little bit of light is being brought to Edmonton's River Valley through a fundraiser that will bring a carnival-style midway to Fort Edmonton Park. The Light the Midway campaign is underway and will transform Fort Edmonton Park. It aims to highlight the Indigenous history of Edmonton and add a 1920-style midway as the main attraction.
But this is really going to take it up a notch to make it a world-class attraction, a must-see for people in Edmonton with the Indigenous people's experience, the new midway, eventually a new addition to the Selkirk Hotel, changing the entranceway. The railway station there is going to be repurposed a little bit. There's a whole bunch of new infrastructure that you can't see. So it's really going to take Fort Edmonton to the next stage, I guess, to the next level.
The campaign is accepting donations until May 1st. All donations will net you a bulb on the midway dedicated to you as a novelty piece of history and a way to show thanks to those who supported the project. That's all I have for you guys this week in entertainment news.
Thanks, Lucas. I might just check out one of those gardens myself.
Yeah, and I think I'll have to check out those lights you're talking about. Downtown Edmonton was lackluster even before the pandemic. People aren't going downtown for fun, and they aren't even going downtown for work, and a lot of businesses are suffering.
How does the Edmonton Chamber of Commerce plan to revive our city's downtown? Stephanie Swensrud has more.
Thanks, guys. So I'm downtown right now, and I am at a Taste of Al Fresco, and it's looking pretty packed. But if you were to come down this same stretch of street during a weekday, it would be barren. Because all of the businesses downtown have a majority of their employees working from home, they aren't coming by for pre-work coffees or post-work happy hour cocktails or business lunches. So I sat down with the CEO and president of the Edmonton Chamber of Commerce to see what's next for Edmonton's downtown. What have you done in the past year to get people downtown?
Park is very exciting. Have you been down? Have you seen Wampus? It's pretty exciting. And the humanoids, fantastic planet. What a treat to see that. But it's not getting people out. People are not coming down to see it, and I think that's a real crime right now.
What's next for spring and summer?
We've partnered with a number of organizations to try to put people on the streets, to try to bring that. We've partnered with organizations to clean up our community. You know, the Capital City Cleanup had an initiative that we actually went out and picked up the garbage on the streets and bagged it up and got rid of it. But it's I notice it every day. It's increasing again, and we'll have to continue to do those things because our citizens aren't out there contributing to that.
What can NAIT students do to help revive downtown?
What NAIT students could do is start to frequent downtown, start to come out and patronize some of these establishments. Recognize that if they need a service or a product, there's somebody more than willing to help them out in the downtown core. The other thing that we all have to do, we have to be good citizens. We have to pick up after others. We have to try to pick up a floating bag that's running across the street or any kind of debris and dispose of it properly. We need to become the Edmontonians that take control of our city and are good citizens that try to make sure that it's clean and it's safe and it's vibrant.
Big thanks to Janet for doing this interview with me. For Second Edition, I'm Stephanie Swensrode.
Edmonton has many different things that define it, but music and local bands are a huge part of its culture, and we have missed them during these tough times.
To find out how a local band called Seriously Fun has been affected during the pandemic, we have Nicholas Egan with more on that.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Seriously Fun's lead guitarist, Ben Bunker. What is it like performing and looking to perform in the pandemic?
So basically, most venues are closed now, especially in Edmonton. I don't think it's legal to have any shows at the moment, but there were like patio shows and like jazz shows without vocals. But I hope that once everyone's vaccinated, we'll all be back to playing shows because it's definitely an enjoyable part of my life and something that the band really looks forward to. And yeah, I mean, right now it's just grind time and we're writing songs to have more material to perform with, and that's pretty much it.
Where do you guys practice?
We practice in Ethan, our drummer's basement. Yeah, his mom loves it, actually, which is really good. Otherwise, we'd be out of luck there.
Will you guys have any shows soon? And if so, what are your best spots to perform in Edmonton?
So we're kind of holding off on shows based on the COVID restrictions. But coming summertime, I'm really hoping that we'll be back on the stage. And maybe even in the spring, if they have patio shows or something that could work with the restrictions, we could definitely play some more shows then. And I know there are some venues like the Starlight Room that had outdoor shows last fall when there was still COVID restrictions, and it worked fine. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to playing the Starlight Room, the Aviary, other venues like that. Yeah.
Coming on, Ben.
Thank you for having me. It's been a privilege.
This has been Nicholas Egan, Second Edition.
A group of Edmontonians are building a state-of-the-art tiny house and are creating a show called the Tiny House Master Plan.
The reality show is based around tiny homes and will showcase the state-of-the-art tiny home, and will be going across Canada on tour. Our own Nathan Carlson has more.
Thanks, guys. I got to talk to Kenton Zerbin, director and executive producer of the Tiny House Master Plan channel on YouTube, and asked him what preparing to go on tour during a pandemic is like, and what he wants his audience to get out of the show. Speaking about this tour, are there any key things you want your audience to take away?
Absolutely. So as a teacher of sustainable living, I don't want to just teach about a fad called tiny homes. That's not it. And not to say that they're a fad, but obviously they've had their heyday with shows and they're still popular. But I think it's an opportunity to teach people about how to build a home. So when I teach people about tiny homes, yes, I want them to realize lots about the utility systems and how to build a wall and legalities and technical things. But I want them to understand, what do they need out of their home? Who are they? What is their climate? What are their priorities in life? How is their house a reflection of them, the same way their clothes are? My hidden curriculum is to actually teach people how to live a good life.
Has COVID affected any of your tour plans?
So we made the tour around COVID. The tour is using a tiny house with a drop-down stage that has an FM transmitter. People can attend the events, the entertainment and education events, from the comfort and safety of their cars. So this way we are not affected. We're actually utilizing the novelty of the experience and the restrictions that are to provide an experience of connection socially, and then deliver something of value educationally.
Lastly, is there anything else you would like to add for the viewers to know?
Yeah. So we are giving away the tiny house at the end of this show. This show is on this building of a state-of-the-art tiny house. It's tour across Canada to 16 different cities. And then at the end of all of that, we give it away to a member of our community. So people who want to watch the show and win the house, they just need to subscribe on YouTube. And there's also additional instructions there around a contest form.
Well, I just want to thank you, Kenton, for doing this.
You're welcome. Take care, Nathan.
The team is expecting the tour to start as early as May. For Second Edition, I'm Nathan Carlson.
After the break, our Emma Baker shows off her skills in nail art.
And then Elijah Fico will take you around town to his favorite biking trails. We will be right back after this short break. Welcome back to Second Edition. Spring is the best time to dust off your bikes and head for the trails. Our own Elijah Fico takes you to some of his favorite spots for you to try out yourself.
But first, Emma Baker will show off her skills in making nail art.
Thanks, guys. I hear you want to do an Edmonton-inspired nail art. Great! The first step is to remove any old nail polish or oil to prep the area. When doing any art, it's always best to have a plan. I drew out 2 images of the Edmonton skyline. After deciding on one of the images, I labeled my components and wrote a list of the order I'm going to accomplish this in. Next, I set out the polish, paints, and tools I was going to use. For the base color, I sponged on white polish. Painting on white works as well. I only did this method because my white was low. While we wait for that layer to dry, let's get started on the thumb. This royal blue was the closest I could get to the blue from the logo on the government website. Top coat time! To avoid smudging our base color, any clear polish on top will do the trick. Working on the sky now. Painting on yellow and orange first, before evening out the color by sponging on yellow. Then finishing with the same method with the light and dark blue. Since I did another top coat off camera, it's time to do the details. Starting with a black outline of the skyline and filling in part way, I continued with the same method with a dark and then light gray. I used this with acrylic paint to make it easier on myself to fix any mistakes. When dry, if you desire, you can add some green shrubbery or street lights to separate the foreground from the background. However, I opted to keep the grayscale theme and outline the bridge and road in white, detailing that with grays and blacks to give it depth. Now it's time to add some finishing touches. Before we complete this nail art, I'm going to write Edmonton across my thumb. Last but not least, a top coat to celebrate a successful art project completed. Thanks for watching. If you want to give it a try, be sure to tag us on social media. For Second Edition, I'm Emma Baker.
Hi, Eli Fico here for Second Edition. With spring on the rise and the semester coming towards an end, I'm going to give a West End bike route that'll show you the scenery of Edmonton, and it's vacant enough, but calm and comfortable. So grab your helmet and grab your bike, because we're going to go for a ride.
I started my path by heading southbound down 142nd Street, heading towards and later crossing the McKinnon Ravine Park Bridge, which has a gorgeous view of the river valley. Now, once you pass it, you're going to want to continue straight and head towards the second bridge in our journey, the McKinnon Ravine Bridge. This bridge has a gorgeous view of the valley below, and it has a nice bike trail also. Passing the bridge, you're going to want to continue straight and head down towards Buena Vista Road, which is a left at the traffic circle. This route takes you downhill and it goes very fast, so be careful. And at the bottom, you should reach our location of Wilfrid Laurier Park. As nice as the park is, the river was frozen over at the time I went there, and in my opinion, it looks gorgeous. And if you look across the river, you can see Keeler Point, which is our next location in this journey. To get to Keeler Point, just follow the trail by the river, which will lead you to behind the Yorath House. Following those paths will bring you towards a dog park. Just head north along the paths and head towards the footbridge. Follow the signs if you need to. The bridge has a gorgeous view, and crossing it will bring you to Horlack Park. Now, since the river was frozen, I got a nice picture and it looks nice. Once you cross the bridge, take an immediate right and follow the path through the trees and keep to the right. And there will be a lot of up and downs in terrain, but ultimately you're going to want to just follow the path down. There's going to be mud, uphill, downhill, depending on the time you go, but in the end you will reach the end of the world. And it does have a gorgeous view of the river, bigger than what Laurier Park has.
Alright, that's all from me. Eli Fico, Second Edition.
Well, that's all we have for you today. I'm Robert Bradley.
And I'm Christine Peters. Be sure to tune in next week for another amazing episode.